I told you you can't trust these. Now Puffy done killed Tupac, man.
50 Cent went on stage last year and said this.
Maybe I said it because he got Tupac.
You know, and I know, that everyone believes that Diddy was involved in both these shootings and had a direct involvement in your brother's death. That is what the streets have said for 27 years. That's why 50 Cent said it. That's why Eminem has said similar stuff. Would you be comfortable saying that you believe Diddy had nothing to do with it?
No, I wouldn't be comfortable saying that because I don't know. If you look at all the theories, the theory involving him is quite high on the list.
Ron, any comments? Any comments on the trial so far? Any opening statements?
He's having his day.
He's having his day?
He's having his day. We trust the justice system.
Thank you, sir.
God is good.
Netflix's new docuseries takes another detailed look at the death of Tupac Shakur, and this time the focus turns again toward Sean P. Diddy Combs.
That claimed, which we know wasn't true.
Yeah, check this out. We don't talk about things that are nonsense. We don't even entertain nonsense, my brother. So we're not even going to go there, with all due respect, but I appreciate you as a journalist asking. Thank you.
Because listen, 7 years ago, I'd have been like, yo, did you hire somebody to kill Pac? But no, you do it like a journalist.
Yeah, no, I mean, we wouldn't even get into nonsense like that. You know what I'm saying? It's nonsense.
Which we never believed, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
In Sean Combs' The Reckoning, the filmmakers explore Diddy's life before his arrest, showing how he rose to prominence in hip-hop. The series also examines his complicated history with Tupac, a relationship Tupac's cousin, William Lassane, said was tense. People interviewed in the documentary describe both men as caught in the East Coast versus West Coast conflict. Some even claim Diddy was linked to violent incidents targeting Tupac, including the night he was killed in Las Vegas in 1996.
The former president of Bad Boy, Kirk Burroughs, who alleged during this time, Diddy had him hiring a whole bunch of people and getting cars to drive to Las Vegas. And he is now very curious into why Diddy wanted to do this. And he said, in his opinion, he now believes that Diddy was behind taking out Tupac.
William did not hold back in his comments. He said Puff felt very threatened by Tupac, especially as an executive dealing with an artist who refused to follow expectations. William also pointed viewers toward the 1994 New York shooting. He noted that Puff was present and questioned who knew Tupac was arriving. Gene Deal has similarly said Diddy felt threatened by Tupac, almost to an obsessive level.
Puff took Tupac blueprint and changed Biggs and Bad Boy in image. I get around, talked about how fly you was, how many girls you mess with, how many cars you drive, how much money you got, what you willing to do. He took his image. Pac was the first one on the scene wearing Versace shirts. He went and got the same Versace shirts Pac had. Which, all right, some dudes would do that. You would never catch me wearing something else, something that somebody else got. He was knocking down all the women that he thought Pac was knocking down. And what I mean is having sex with them. Why would you want to have sex with women you know for sure a dude that was once cool with you was dealing with?
Along with William's statements, Tupac's brother Mo Preem has also emphasized that Diddy should be investigated in connection with Tupac's death.
Comment saying that you want to see how serious the Vegas PD is going to take this case. Because Keefy D is people that he name dropped that you want to see if they're going to investigate?
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I'm curious to see how they plan to deal with the case, because he, in his own admissions, mentions other people. You know, are they going to say what happened to these people? Yes, Puffy being one of them. I don't know where that's going to lead, but I do believe there were accomplices, and I don't think all of them have been looked at. So, because over the years, it's a lot of years, amongst the family, we talk, we want to figure it out too. We thinking certain things too. So, we're waiting to see if we can trust this process. I feel like it's bigger because I haven't heard anything about that part of the story from the prosecutor's office. I haven't heard anything about Puffy from the prosecutor's office, even though Keefe D implicates him on these videos that they claim they're using to indict him. Even you got a Crip affiliate from somewhere, but you still not gonna talk about the guy that he mentions by name on the thing. Yeah, I mean, it's exhausting. That I'm waiting to see how far they go, because that's what everybody's talking about. That's what everybody's talking about. What about Puffy? So it would be weird that the prosecutor's office wouldn't know and address it. That's why I don't know whether to trust this shit or not.
Mopreme also revealed that while Tupac was on his deathbed, it seemed as though he was trying to tell him something important before passing
What's
away.
Tupac condition? Because you got so many conflicting stories, right? You got some people that say that, Tupac was moving in the hospital. He was, talking in the hospital. But you being there, from your point of view, how was Tupac condition?
By the time I got there, remember, I was coming from LA. So by the time I got there, he had tubes in his throat, in his nose, in his mouth. So he ain't talk to me, not verbally. He was conscious. He was trying to talk. He did want to talk, but he didn't actually verbalize any words. I always, that's gonna be one of the biggest mysteries in my life, because he was trying to tell me something. He was trying so hard. He was shaking the bed. He was looking at me, with his big old eyes, and I know he was trying to tell me something, but I don't know.
Something else I want to ask you, because I think it would be appropriate before we get off the Vegas thing, last thing, because I know I did an interview with Napoleon, and they all gave me their reasons why Afeni pulled the plug because of his condition, but I mean, it would be more appropriate since you was his brother. Afeni, her decision to pull the plug on him, from your point of view, what made her pull the plug, respectfully?
Because he had already flatlined a couple of times. And she didn't want him to keep going through that. I think it was like twice before she, let him go. And that's reasonable. You know what I mean? When I was, when I found out, I could live with it more,
Kirk Burroughs, a co-founder of Bad Boy, raised more questions. He stated that in his view, Sean may have played a role in the events leading to Tupac's death. He said tension between Tupac and Diddy existed long before Las Vegas. William also explained that during this period, Puff wanted to collaborate with Tupac, but Tupac preferred to focus on Biggie. Diddy was managing Biggie, and Tupac saw Biggie's rapid rise. Tupac tried to support him, which is why he went to Quad Studios on November 30th, 1994, for a session with Little Sean. But when Tupac arrived, he was ambushed and shot 5 times. Diddy, Biggie, and a music executive were in the building. Tupac later claimed they helped set him up. When asked if he thought Diddy was involved, Tupac said, "I believe so."
Think Puffy was involved in the shooting? Only they can answer that question. I have my own opinion, but I wouldn't slander their name like they did mine. I wouldn't say things that I knew, you know what I mean? I believe so. I do believe so. I have proved things that I can say that will back up my claim, but this is not for the world to know about. You know what I mean? It's between me and him, and only he knows. So every time he say it didn't happen, or that's the only thing that makes this become an issue to everybody. Because you seen what I said in the Vibe article. I basically bowed out. It was going to go ahead about my life. The next issue, that wasn't even the next issue because them cowards waited about 4 issues before they got their story together. 4 issues later, half of New Yorkers commenting on me getting shot. And before, they was all like, we didn't see nothing. In the first issue, read it, Vibe viewers. Nobody seen shit. The 4th issue, when they came back with a reply, everybody knew what I did. They knew what I said. I was acting. Who gets shot 5 times in acts? Oh, I didn't get shot 5 times in their vision. I only got shot once because they found the bullet. The police found it, but now they the cops. Now they doing detective work. They found the bullet. Oh, you found the bullet, huh? So what is this other shit in me then? What was the doctors talking about? What? Can you explain these other holes in me? How'd I get gunpowder all over me? That insulted my intelligence. So, yes, I did say Thug Life was there. Yes, I bowed out, all of that. But when they said that, they breathed new life in me.
Former bodyguard Gene Deal has claimed publicly that Diddy previously served as a confidential informant. According to Deal's statements, Diddy's influence was due to his cooperation with investigators rather than his industry status.
So Puffy knew Tupac was going to get robbed at Quad Studios?
Well, I don't think I'm not going to say he knew exactly he was going to get robbed, but he knew he was going to get dealt with. Because he was up there with Andre Harrell and he was with Jimmy Henchman. And even though I think Pac may have owed Jimmy some money or he was being disrespectful with Jimmy, and Jimmy ain't the type of dude that you was going to be disrespectful for because he had some real wolves. And Jimmy was about it himself. You know what I mean? So now, in that essence, Puff was up there in the office with him. They know they about to deal with Pac. You know what I'm saying? I don't know the extent that Jimmy told him what they was going to do to Pac or he's going to get dealt with or whatever like that. But I know Puff had a whiff of what was going on.
Also, unverified reports claiming that Diddy is seeking leniency by providing information. A recent story from TMZ alleged that discussions about a potential presidential pardon might occur, possibly enabling Diddy to be released as early as December.
You know that he had another bracelet that was like a bicycle chain and with charms on it, right? Couldn't say that. All right, he had the diamond chain on with the chain with diamonds at each length going through it. Right, he had a big stone on the diamond ring and a smaller stone, one for 35,000 and the one for 20,000. All right, so even Stretch that did this shit, I took his bracelet too, and changed it and put his name, my man's name on it, and took off the name on it. So motherfuckers claiming that this. Even
so hold on, homie.
Claimed that he was Tupac's stepdaddy. Wrote me and wanted me to have my people meet him and give him back the chain and shit. Talking about some redemption shit. You know, them niggas ain't had it, man.
So hold on, hey Dex. So that day that happened, November 30th, 1994. It wasn't just Tupac and Freddie Nichols. Stretch was with them too.
Stretch was with them too. Yeah, Stretch set the whole shit up. He was in cahoots. He was giving us play-by-play where they was at. On their way there, he was in communication with Jimmy and shit. You know, Jimmy promised them two big eggs and shit.
Wow. So he sold Pac out for a quarter brick, basically.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
And
Kill boy too.
Wow. Yeah. They got him up out of here.
Jimmy Henchman, however, vehemently denied that he was involved at all.
I remember the first time I went to your office, there was a big frame picture, photograph on one of your walls, and it had Tupac on it wearing a Henchman Entertainment T-shirt. Now, a few years ago, there was a guy named Dexter Isaac that came forward who claimed that you were connected to the Tupac shooting. Do you have anything to say about that?
No, 100%. I've never ducked from answering any Tupac questions, which I could understand if I don't know how Quad Studio morphed into, like, I was in Vegas and was part of the shooters that actually ended in his demise. Let me say, me and Tupac were friends. And me and him were friends. I had nothing against Tupac. I liked him. He was younger than me. I'm sure that he looked up to me. There's many moments that me and Pac had that were very intimate, where he's talked to me about things that he was afraid of or things that he loved to do, and all of those kind of things. Here it is, you have a prosecutor and you have a guy who's in jail for life. When they pulled Dexter down to interview him in regards to what he knew about me and Tupac and so on and so forth, I have no doubt at this point that Dexter probably was the guy or one of the assailants on Tupac. But Dexter's story just doesn't make sense. Dexter tells a story that I wanted a ring for my fiance, and so I tell him to get the diamond ring from Tupac so I can give it to my fiance, and so on and so forth. He tells this magical story. The only person that can believe such a story is Todd Kaminsky, who was the prosecutor who was trying to make something out of nothing.